Hello, my babies. As you can see, I have a new location. Testing things out to see what works best. So, yeah, I don't know. I might be somewhere completely different in my house come the next video. But hope you enjoy. Hello, my babies. Welcome back to another episode of MamMaJism. How are y'all feeling? Are you liking the sound? Are you liking everything? I don't know. Again, I'm still testing things out, so please let me know if you're digging it or if you're not. I can switch some things around, figure it out, you know? But you gotta work with me here. I can't read minds. I don't know. This podcast is for me, but it's also for you, you know? Like, we're a family or whatever. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so today's episode is on the business of being busy. What do I mean by that? Well, I've mentioned before in past episodes, but I have had struggled with setting boundaries for myself, and especially for other people. And so because of that, I've been working really hard to find a balance that works well for everyone involved. Like, I want to be able to have boundaries without feeling like I'm telling people who to be or how to be around me. And so with this newfound feeling of like knowing my worth and knowing what type of boundaries I want to have for specific people in my life, it is really kind of structured the way that I now go about my day-to-day. Now, as we all know, because we're all living it, still in a pandemic-filled world right now, right? So a lot of the things that I was doing in the past, I no longer do. I don't work currently, so a lot of my time is filled with my passion projects, is what I like to call it. Some of it I hope to monetize. Others are just me wanting to kind of just feel joy, you know, without having to feel the need to produce something in order to make money, because that creates stress in and of itself. So because of this, having to self-discipline myself and make sure I give myself specific boundaries to make sure that I am honoring what I want to do for my future career goals and things like that, I have to set these boundaries, right? So something that I've been really working on, aside from the mindful hour in the morning, is kind of really structuring my day, because if I don't have a set plan, I will spend the day binge watching something or spending my day on TikTok. Yes, I'm still on TikTok, okay? Chinese government taking my information. Guess what? The United States has already been taking my information, so you know what? Fuck it, more the merrier. But honestly, like on a serious tip, TikTok has taught me so much. I know the things that most people who aren't on TikTok see are like the dumb shit from the dumb people, but I promise you, TikTok is full of like so many gems that you wouldn't really know about unless you were scrolling through TikTok. And I've learned so much, not just in terms of like cooking recipes or new activities. So right before the pandemic hit, a close friend and I went geocaching, and that was something that he was aware of, but I never knew, and it was only put on my radar thanks to TikTok. And that was just a fun way to reconnect with not only him, but like kind of with nature, because the whole point of geocaching is to kind of basically scavenger hunt and look for this little geocaching box, and people hide them in the most creative ways. So it's really getting your mind working, and you're getting exercise because you're going out to these places and like looking for these clues in order to find this geocaching spot. And so TikTok has honestly just brought a lot to my forefront that I just didn't realize was even out there. But even aside from like actual activities and doing things like that, mental health, like there are so many therapists on there, and people who, you know, are all about self-care and have given me a lot of ideas in terms of topics for the podcast, or even just things to indulge in for myself in terms of self-care. So that's my little rant about why I'm still on TikTok that nobody asked for. But in case you were curious and wondering, that is precisely why. But that is exactly how I would spend my day if I didn't have a set plan or a set schedule. So aside from the mindful hour that I do in the morning just to jumpstart my day, I then have this list of things that I need to do each day in order to make sure that I'm, one, fulfilling the requirements that I need in order to excel in the future, and also just to make sure that I'm not leaving myself time to bullshit, basically. So I'm currently doing a whole lot of studying, so I carve out a big chunk just for studying. And then if I'm not studying, then I also have a section for practicing the guitar, a time for me to practice my sewing skills, and any other extracurriculars in terms of like if I want to create a new song or something like that, then I have wiggle room for that as well. And then of course I have a lunch and factor in times to like eat or nourish myself in whatever way. And then of course incorporating some physical activity because I need to get back in shape and get back to doing that, because I went from walking all the time to like not doing anything at all. So really trying to kind of get back on my healthy kick, not only mentally but physically as well. So those are the things that I've been doing. And so basically I have a full day even though I'm not actually like going somewhere or like going to work or whatever. And so because of that, because I'm putting my priorities in order, it leaves me very little to no time to kind of like talk with other people, because I also go to bed at a decent hour again. I was still reading, it's a really, really dense book, but I'm reading this book about why we sleep. And one of the things that I took away from this book, which I'll have a separate podcast episode on this at a later date, but one of the main things I got from this book is the importance of getting our 8 hours of sleep. So that's something that I've been really trying to make sure that I do. If anything else, like at the very least, at least make sure that I'm getting my hours of sleep. And so I have been making sure that I am I'm asleep no later than 10 p.m. because, again, for my mindful morning, I like to wake up by 6. So going to bed at 10 allows me to get those 8 hours and I'm good to go. So that leaves a little room for me to kind of like talk to people on the phone or through text message. I already am a terrible texter, so this definitely is not helping my case, but I've essentially gone MIA from a lot of people who are used to hearing from me, and I am sorry, but unfortunately, the way my priorities are set up right now, the things that I am working toward are very, very important. And it's not to say that the people that I usually talk to that I'm not, it's not to say that you're not important. It's just that I know that we can catch up anytime. And I'm not taking for granted the moments that we do, but just know that I'm not as easily accessible anymore. And I think that's really kind of the point of all of this, is that I feel like I was too accessible to people, and because of that, I wasn't accessible enough to myself, if that makes sense. So I'm really trying to work at doing a better job of, looking out for myself first, being selfish in the healthy ways that I need to be, and this is one of those things. So unfortunately, my dating life is non-existent. It's not really unfortunate, actually. I really love it. It actually makes me feel more empowered to know that, like, I'm so focused on doing what I need to do for me that I know love will come when it does. And it'll come when, it sees that I'm ready to receive it. Right now, I'm not ready to receive anything but the stuff that I'm doing. I just need that to come into fruition. So I have been on dating sites, but I also haven't been actually active in them. So I'd be feeling bad for the people who I was kind of talking to, and now I'm just kind of like, peace out, because I got shit to do. But the few people that I do actually still talk to, they understand and they get it. So this was an episode of me just basically explaining why I'm just too busy to date right now, okay? And it feels amazing. But yeah, I don't know. That's the episode. I don't know. Maybe some of you can relate, maybe you can't. I don't know. And this also isn't to say that it's impossible to put yourself first and date, or to have your priorities in terms of like working toward your career goals and not be able to date. I'm not saying that that's not possible. I'm not saying that that's the wrong way to go about it. I'm just saying, for me, the way my priorities are set up, dating is the last thing I give a fuck about right now, because I am trying to make sure that MamMaJ is good. I can't focus on other people anymore. I gotta really hone in on me, you know? So that's just all I mean in that sense. And with that, I want to just challenge everyone, to kind of do a slight reflection and see what are ways that you can, prioritize the things that are most important to you. If you've never prioritized things before, or like wrote down bullet points of things you want to accomplish within the next year or 2 or 6, do that. Start prioritizing your time. If you're like me and you have a lot of it and you're not used to having a lot of time because you're used to people telling you how to spend it, be that person to force yourself to spend it in the ways that are going to benefit you later on down the line. Yeah, so that's all I have for y'all. Thank you for listening. And again, this is a work in progress. I'm still not used to recording myself. But make sure you also subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can visually see me talk to a microphone if you are a more visual person than an audio person. Okay, that's all I have for you. Bye. Thank you for listening. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and follow all the socials at MamMaJism. That's MamMaJism. If you decide you want to financially support me, on my accounts you'll be able to find out how. Thanks in advance. Until we meet again, please be kind to one another. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you. I'm feeling so